Welcome back to day two of our state tournament preview inside the palatial New Jersey College Baseball Nation studios. Here with John Kroger, the guru of New Jersey high school baseball. Here to get a bunch more people angry at us. We still got half a state to take off today. We got non-public A. We got the big boys. We're going to start right with them. We got Group 3, and then we got Group 4, which is also the pretty big boys, because we're going to be finishing with South Jersey Group 4, which might as well be non-public. There's so many good schools in that one. So
yes, every year.
Non-public A, we got the team that we were certain was going to be the number one team all year in the state, and there was going to be no way to knock them off. And then the team that then all of a sudden they got knocked off, and now they're not number one in the state anymore. Don Bosco Prep still got to be the favorite in North A, but Seton Hall Prep is that horse charging around the outside, coming on strong. You got Del Barton that's playing well lately. You got St. Joe's, this last year's champ. To me, it's St. Peter's Prep ain't doing that bad either, but probably ultimately, well, I'll give you that. I'll say that St. Peter's Del Barton game would be your fourth team. Otherwise, it's a three-team field.
Yeah, I look at this thing. DePaul beat the crap out of Passaic Tech, so Don Bosco can't take them lightly. So DePaul and Dwight Englewood, strong record.
DePaul's got to be the stronger team.
Bosco, I don't know if they can take any of those two teams lightly and say not throw Dana, but Seton Hall Prep. When we spoke early in the year, I think you and I talked about this. I thought the only team that could beat Bosco would be Seton Hall's pitching. Seton Hall hasn't really hit, but their pitching is superior. Mike Shepard's a phenomenal coach. He gets it done year in and year out there. Sorry, Del Barton. I just don't see it. If Bruce Chattel wins a state championship this year, oh my God, he'd be like on a pedestal above his dad. That would be the most amazing thing, because Del Barton, this is the weakest Del Barton team I've seen all year.
Well, they beat St. Peter's Prep is probably the bigger question.
St. Peter's Prep is really, really hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
They beating Ferris and St. Joe's by the Sea, winning 22 games. They're really quiet this year. They're really quiet. Pat Laguerre, quietly doing things. He's not saying anything.
You got Big Ryan.
Let's be real. Don Bosco Prep should win this thing. Unacceptable if they don't. I know they probably will. This is a great team. Rooney has these guys. Great schedule this year. They've done everything they were supposed to, except win the Bergen County tournament. I know that's eating them up. So these kids are going to be hungry. Bosco, they should win this thing. They should.
Would think so. Now, you got an interesting South bracket. I still think St. Augustine is the best team in the bracket. You've got St. Joe's Metuchen, who is always got the potential to, knock anybody off at number 2. Wouldn't surprise me if they won it. You've got my favorite long shot team, although as the 3 seed, they're not that long of a long shot, Red Bank Catholic, who I've seen at their best and seen at their not so best. You got St. John Vianney, which is trouble. And how about Pingree beating Hun twice in a row to win Prep A this year? How seriously do we got to take Pingree with Thomas Santana and Jake Francis at the top of the rotation?
Yeah, they've done some amazing things in the past couple weeks and really all year, 22-2. I saw them once this year and they got knocked around by Ridge.
Yeah.
But to beat Hun twice in 1 week, that's why they're in the top 20 now.
Best week in Pingree baseball history, probably.
Yeah. The thing that scares me about St. Augustine's, play a lot of close games. They play St. Augustine's. It's a good thing and a bad thing. They play to the level that they're playing against.
Mhm.
And I don't want to mention teams, but they played teams this year that weren't that good and they won, but they didn't do what we thought they would do, like crush them. And then they played great teams and they beat the heck out of them.
Mhm.
So they've played very well from behind. I know the
Yeah.
Leonard P game, it was 2-0. They were losing. When
That
the
whole
match goes
bracket,
under their butt, they
Cherokee.
play.
Yep, Cherokee. They were losing. They were.
Yeah.
I think they fell behind Kingsway a couple times this year before pulling away from them.
Right. And I've seen St. Augustine's a lot this year, and they've done it time and time again. Is there going to be a game that they don't? But no one's better in the state of New Jersey in winning close games than Mr. Pylon. Nobody.
Why do
He
you think
finds
that is?
ways to win it. Nobody better than Pylon.
Why do you think that is? I mean, to me, they're a solid team. I mean, they just
They are, but they play a lot of close games,
I
and
know, but
it's
you see
scary.
teams like that, and a lot of times you think it's just talent, but they can manufacture runs when they need to. They do a lot of things right,
Yeah.
obviously. They're
The
still
problem is seed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all have great number ones and number
and two
twos.
and two.
Yes.
And now you're in a
You face a number one for 6 innings. He's at his pitch count. St. Augustine's losing 3-2. You got a really good number 2 coming in.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
that's
not saying they're going to lose. I expect them to be there. Donovan Zach, he's a 4-inning guy right now. I mean, he's done a remarkable job for them. I think his pitch count is going to be a big thing. And Goldan's done okay, but he's not the Goldan of last year right now. But he's starting to come around.
I was going to say against Woodbridge, he was getting into that kind of FU mode on the mound where it was just I'm throwing what I got and you're not going to hit it. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, how about Red Bank Catholic? Like, do you think they're going to show up? Which team's going to show up?
They're like I was going to say we talked yesterday about Shore Regional.
Let's be honest. That team is the best team in New Jersey and the worst team in New Jersey. Come on, buddy. What are you doing in Red Bank? Let's go.
Can they be good Red Bank for 4 straight games? Because they got enough talent that they can beat anybody in front of them. I don't know that there's a whole lot of more talented teams than they're going to see. So they're just they got to do it. I mean, they're going to have a tough game right away. CBA kind of fits that.
Well, with only 12 teams, you have the brackets there?
Yeah.
All right, so Donovan plays Union Catholic, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay, and the winner plays St. Joseph Metuchen?
Yep. CBA's got Camden.
Does he throw Donovan Zach that game? Because I'm going to tell you, Union Catholic's improved. They've had a good year. I saw Donovan Catholic. I liked it. That's a good team.
You're assuming that Donovan is the number one guy. He might not, because I don't think he can go through a whole game. Is your number one guy the most dominant guy or the guy who's most likely to go a whole game if you're a coach?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts here. And I'm going to stick with St. Augustine.
Yeah,
my back's against the wall. I'm going to stick with them.
They seem to have, let's put it this way, they seem to have the fewest question marks. Every team,
yes.
There's like 6 teams that I would love to have their talent. But St. Augustine to me is the most complete. They got like 1 through, everybody's got 2 stud pitchers. They got like 6. They're bringing in, Holm DeJong off the from the pen all year, is throwing no hitters in big games.
Well, let me ask you a question. We're talking about Pingree here, 22-2. I mean, at the start of the year, we even said it, best team in the state, Bosco or Hunt. I mean, right?
That's why I put Pingree 5th in my last rankings. You gotta why not? I mean, Hun is there. Hun still has that, like, you can't drop Hun below a certain level. They're just that good.
Yeah.
And to beat them twice in 1 week, I gotta, they were the number one team in the state that week. So
Are
what
you picking Pingree?
to beat Camden Catholic? Yes. I don't know. They'll have to face Aiden Cody. And I don't know if they've seen enough, but then again, is Aiden Cody that much better than Carson Applegate, who they beat?
I saw Aiden Cody last week. He's pretty good. I tell you, he's got a real good slider.
He's very good. He's fantastic.
Coach Morgan does a terrific job. I just saw with
Pingree's got something. I would pick Pingree to get to play St. Augustine.
How about Pingree St. Augustine? Pingree's got to travel all the way down to Buena Vista. Then they'll see. Come on, you got to drive 20 minutes to play Hun. Go down and play St. Augustine. Let's go. Pingree St. Augustine. I think I would probably go to that game.
That would be like, well, sending Pingree to welcome to South Jersey baseball,
Yes. That'd be a long bus ride back home or a short one if they won that game. Wow. We're talking about this right now. Something's going to happen. I'm going to stick with St. Augustine.
That's right. St. Thomas Aquinas will surprise everybody.
I didn't even know they were 15-6. That's pretty impressive.
They had a great year. They split the blue division with South River. And really, like I said, they're not a whole lot of teams in that bracket who, you can rank them from best to worst, or you can rank them from like exceeded expectations to not exceeding expectations, and they'd be at the top of the list as far as having a great year. You got to respect that. But it's a different game when you get to this point.
Who's winning the parochial Ace championship?
It's
backs against the wall. You get $50,000 if you're right.
It depends on whether Caden Dana's pitching the final or not.
Oh, we can't. We're not. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm interviewing you now. Who's winning the parochial championship? You got 5 seconds. Backs against the wall.
St. Augustine.
Don Bosco.
All right, perfect.
Right.
We'll see we'll see who's right. But I think this is going to be St. Augustine's made it enough. This would be 6 years in a row to the finals.
I don't disagree with you. I think St. Augustine. I love St. Augustine.
That's the 1 and 2 in the state matchup that we haven't had yet.
Hopefully they both all win, and
let's hope that's I shouldn't say let's hope, because we don't hope for anything other than good games, but it'll be very easy to have an overall number 1 in the state if that's the final matchup. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
North 3. We got Group 3 North. North 1, North 2. We're going to start way up north. Old Tappan's been the best. Alex Kranzler is one of the state's best pitchers. You touted Ramapo before the season, and until about May 21st at noon, we were wondering when they were going to show up and do their thing. And after May 21st around 3 p.m., we knew you were right all along once they beat Don Bosco.
Yes.
Is it one of those two, or is it somebody else? Is it Montville with Ian Kaiser? Who's our way up north pick?
So early in the year, we talked about Ramapo.
Yep. They waited as long
and then they
as
went
possible
like 2, and everyone's saying, Ramapo, and Garrison Ward saying, Frogs, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I was away last week, and he texted me after he beat Bosco, shocked the world. Shocked the world. Yes. And, Ramapo proved it. They could beat anybody. They can lose to anyone. I like Ramapo. Again, they're going to have that Ramsey thing, a Diamond Classic beast.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Bill Alvaro when they were ranked 25th in the country. Remember Washington Township? They were 23-0. They won the Diamond. Came out 25th in the country. They go down to Toms River South, and I'm talking to Bill on the phone. Toms River South went to Washington Township,
Yep.
And I said, Kenny, call me after the game. You cannot beat Washington Township. I told Kenny, and Mitch Powitz is on the phone. He goes, Kenny, Kroger wants to talk to you. And he said, yeah, how are they? I said, you have no shot. Just get back. Just don't even go down there. They beat him, remember? Remember when they beat him? Kenny Frank called me on the way back. The kids were cracking up. Kroger, you were wrong. You were wrong. And I think Ramapo and Ramsey, they're going to be dead. My whole point is, after playing a Bergen County tournament all weekend, I know they get a couple of days off, so that'll help Monday. But if it's supposed to rain like it is tomorrow, and they play Sunday and Monday, that's really emotional 2 days. And sometimes you need 3 or 4 days to get your head straight, especially if you lose in the Bergen County final. And if you win, you're out partying that night. It's just.
Can we get it on the record right now that these counties who don't run their county tournament finals until Memorial Day weekend are killing their teams in the state tournament for absolutely no reason, and that there's got to be a better way to do this?
Well, that's why the shore teams never win state titles. Rarely. Well, I shouldn't say never, but rarely.
Yeah.
And Bergen County teams don't either.
Well, the shore's bigger, or just as big a problem is they got a huge Monmouth tournament.
Monmouth, Ocean, Shore.
And then they got a huge shore tournament. I mean, like Jackson is playing the Ocean and the Shore finals, at the weakest states. Why are they not deciding? Well, first of all, you don't need a shore conference tournament. You just need a shore conference championship game between your two winners.
Yeah, that was that's why it was so impressive what Middletown South did last year. I know the Monmouth County tournament ends a little bit earlier than yeah. So he was able to map it out pretty good. But last year, Chris Lamore did a great job with that program. Oh my God, that was impressive how they did it. They play a lot of games every year. He doesn't care whether he wins or loses. He just let's go play. Let's go play. Let's win the state title.
Yeah, they seem to be playing. But anyway, let's get back to business here. Is Ramapo your pick for North 1, Group 3?
Yeah. I have Ramapo and long shot Linda Morris Knowles.
All right.
Morris Knowles got some players. They're young.
You think they're going to knock off Cransler on Saturday?
Well, we'll see. Morris Knowles can hit.
So you're just calling them a long shot. You're not saying they're definitely going to win. You're saying
they're a long shot. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, Cransler can go in that game. I guarantee you, Luke Dixon's going to get 4 hits off behind.
Yeah.
Or he's going to hit the ball hard. He may be the best hitter in the state of New Jersey out of all sophomores. That kid's stud. That's my long shot. I don't know if they have the pitching to go that far, but like they're going to be very disruptive, Morris Knowles.
North 2, Group 3, on its surface is Milburn, Ferris, and Cranford, only because it always seems to be Milburn, Ferris, and Cranford. But each of those teams has struggled at times during the year, even though the record might not reflect it. They've had some wins that were probably closer than you think. Is this the year that somebody under that knocks them off? And if so, who do we got?
So Milburn's going to end up beating Belleville, right?
But then what?
Then Nutley, Chatham. Nutley's okay. Once they hit Chatham and then Randolph, they got no shot, Milburn. I'm going to even go on record right now. Milburn's going to struggle round 2 and 3. That's going to be tough for them. I seriously would be shocked if Randolph doesn't get to the final. They're playing as good as anyone. I mean, they just beat Del Barton yesterday. They're a really good team. I know they're 13-10, but show me a team in this group that had a tougher schedule than Randolph. I mean, Ferris is going to be really a tough team, but it seems like Ferris has had a really difficult time being consistent, playing strong against 3 or 4 really good teams. I know they get North Plainfield. They should win that one. Then they would play Colonia. JT Kroner's not JT Kroner right now. I don't know what's wrong with him. But if JT Kroner,
he struck out 12 last week, last week.
okay, so I know last week he wasn't throwing as well, but if he becomes the kid that I saw last year, that makes Colonia very dangerous. Because he's legit. I'm going with
Sounds like you like Randolph.
I am. I'm gonna stick with Randolph. And it was I think you know, like you said, Ferris, Cranford, Milburn, upset special. Milburn's gonna get upset. I just feel it. Randolph, I like them. I'm gonna go with Randolph, and I hate going against Dennis McCaffrey. I'm gonna go with Cranford and Randolph. Those are my two teams. Cranford the favorite, and Randolph as my long shot, short
shot. Is
shot.
Ryan Jaros at the point where he gets the Barry Bonds treatment, and he just doesn't even need to bring his bat to the plate anymore, and he just walk him?
Yeah, but you can't walk him
because he'll steal 2 bases.
Unless he's got 22 stolen bases already. I saw him yesterday, 5 for 5. Like, I want to know the last high school hitter in New Jersey that was as pure. I'm not just saying hitting home runs. Guys hit home runs, hitting bombs. He is. I put him in with anybody in the last 20 years in New Jersey as a hitter.
And the bombs will come with him because he's giant. He runs like a deer. He's got it all. And
Cranford, Jaros, state sectional final, and Randolph as my shot. I'm going to go with Cranford and Randolph.
All right. I'm going to go with Milburn because I want to go to the Milburn Deli, and I don't want to see my picture up there with arrows stuck through it or anything like that. But
I don't mean to ruffle any feathers here, but a Cranford Milburn final. What do you think?
That's why I'm picking that, mainly because I want to see that.
I think it would be like June 11th, right? June 9th, 10th, somewhere around there. Would you go to that game?
June 10th. I would be there, and I know Mrs. Chapman would not be there. So I'd probably have to be there making sure she gets the updates.
I mean, Brian, I've known Brian since college. Brian and I went to college. Dennis and I went to college. And, you know, they're doing great together now. They're great people there. Oh, I can't even tell you what they're two of my closest friends. I saw Dennis yesterday, and Dennis is just awesome. And so is Brian. It's just they're great people.
Central, Group 3. Now, you said yesterday, I think it was Group 2 South that was the craziest bracket. But to me, Central Group 3 is,
It's out of control.
What's that?
It's out of control. You're right. Yeah. It's out of control.
There's, Steiner's the number 1 seed. They've had some big games. Joe Giori's a great catcher. Matt Zubek on the mound. They beat Del Barton. They beat Hunterdon Central this year. And they've also got smoked by West Windsor South 10-0 in the MCT. This is not the Steiner team of my youth, but they've been the best.
No, but they've had some good times and some bad times this year.
Look at the resume. They're the best team, on paper, what they did all year in Central 3. I say that with pretty much confidence. But, you look at other teams. Brick is up there. They've had their every team here in the top 8 has had their moments. Hamilton's had its moments. They've had a couple of big wins. Dylan Parsons might be one of the best pitchers in that bracket. Allentown is always good.
Allentown's got a rough one with Matawan. I think Allentown beats Matawan.
It depends.
I'm gonna take the Colts Neck Allentown winner. That's who I'm going with, the Allentown Colts Neck winner in that 4-5 matchup.
That's my pick. But the best team in this bracket is Colts Neck on days Anthony Gubitozi's pitching.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you can't do that every game in states.
Well, you can do it every game except for one.
That's true. You can, or you can use the pitch count and hope the other guys hold the fort down.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but I'm gonna jump on the Allentown Colts Neck winner in the second round, as long as they both win. Um, Steiner against Ewing, they've already beat him 7-0 this year. Um, they got a shortstop at Ewing. It's pretty good, Ryan Leary. Going to
right here
Wagner,
is
good
excellent
player.
player. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
Yeah.
You can't talk state tournaments without Chris Banos from Somerville. I know, I know they're 12 and 13,
They haven't got the pitching
12
mix.
and 14. Yeah, they have enough pitching to, again, this is a
Somerville
crazy
could put it
section.
together. Somerville could put it together, win that bracket, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, well, they're no longer with Cranford or Milburn.
Right.
That's been Banos' problem. He's running into them every year.
They can.
And listen,
I
there's some
wouldn't
good
call them,
coaches in New Jersey. Banos, he's tough.
I
He's,
wount
he's,
call them the
he's
favorite, but if you want to give me a one of those dark horse teams, I wouldn't be stunned to see Somerville go get Matty Wright and
me neither.
you know, Robbinsville with Luke Billings, Robbinsville without Luke Billings. Do they have enough to win the other days? And
Yeah,
can they
I saw
can they beat
Robbinsville
Middletown
play.
North? They got Colin Dowling right away.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if North
And
won.
Red Bank Regional beat Montville the other day. So, I mean,
Yeah,
this is an interesting one. I think you can go 6 or 7 teams here could win it.
yeah. I'm gonna say Hamilton. I know I'm gonna tick off half of Hamilton Township, but I think Hamilton's got. I think Dylan Parsons is gonna win enough big games. Um, can they hit? I don't know, but I'm gonna trust Masseri and
Yeah.
Jimmy Mayer to come up with ways to score runs, because I think that's going to be their biggest issue. If they can do that, they can make some noise in that bracket.
Yep, they could. They sure can. Great
South
coaches.
Jersey, Ocean City's still the favorite to me, because of their 1 and 2 pitchers. Between Duke and McCarron, Tommy Finnegan, Tommy and Duke, however you want to set it up. But I see some teams there jumping out. Would be crazy if Mainland won it this year after Chase Petty graduated.
Yep.
But they've had a great year.
You're saying Ocean City. I have Ocean City here, but
Don't ever
I
doubt
see the
Delsey.
way this is mapped out. Look at how it's mapped out. So when I looked at this thing, I saw Cherry Hill West is playing Cumberland.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's look at it. That's round 1. Now they play Highland. I think they can beat Highland. So
Mhm.
now they're in the final. Now they're in the final 4.
Yep.
Now they would play Ocean City. Ocean City don't hit. Cherry Hill West can pitch with them.
Yep.
I like Cherry Hill West. I'm almost Dan. Yeah, I remember we talked about before the year. Dan is the man.
They win. Yes.
When June 1st comes, Dan is the man.
Yes.
Dan is the man. Dan is the man. If Dan will I feel like this objective here. Dan will get Cherry Hill West to the state sectional finals.
All right. I certainly wouldn't be a surprise.
I said it early in the year. Listen, they're good. They're not Cherry Hill West, but he always has something up his sleeve. He's weird in the state tournament. He finds ways. I tip my hat to Dan.
Absolutely.
Master, be the master, big guy.
Unless he's going up against Joe Smith and Delsey.
Yeah, listen. If I had an all-star team from New Jersey traveling to another state, Joe Smith and Dennis McCaffrey, I'd take those guys and say, go coach. And we probably wouldn't lose.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, a great matchup there, if it's Delsey against Morristown in round 2, that's a pretty early big time matchup.
Yep.
So
yeah. Delsey's still young. This is going to be. They won 19 games again. I don't know how Delsey won 19 games. It's great, Joe Smith.
I'm going to go Ocean City. I'm going to also say that I think that there's I think we covered about 4 or 5 teams that certainly wouldn't surprise me if they were advancing as well. And I'm going to say that the South Group 3 team is the one that makes it to the finals.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Cherry Hill West.
All right. One of us
West.
made Cherry Hill people happy, but
Cherry Hill West.
I like it. I like it. They're always good. They're always good.
Yeah,
Picking the pedigree
got
there.
my shortstop at Cherry Hill West, Youngie.
John
Young's
Young is fantastic.
Yeah. Tremendous.
Yep. Group 4. We're finished with the big boys here. The Group 4. North 1. Don't know. Montclair was your winner last year. Montclair got to the, each one of these brackets is going to be fun. But Montclair did it last year. Passaic Tech obviously is, with Nas and the Gilligans have been playing some great baseball. Clifton's had its moments where it's been outstanding. Those seem to be the top 3. But you're probably.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a hint. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'm going to do it. Nazir Mule will be pitching in the state tournament. I have a gut feeling, and if he's hurt, that's one thing. If he's not hurt, I think it will hurt him in the draft in terms of what round he goes, whether he goes in the second, third, fourth round. I think he's got to show he can pitch right now because people are very uneasy. Nazir's only 17 years old. People want Nazir. I think it would help them. It would help the team. Nazir is a great kid. I think he's ready to pitch. And talking to Newtile, he thinks there's a chance he comes back in the States to close games out.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there's more value to that where you can be used 2 innings every game. As soon as there's trouble late in the game. But I think that they're probably the favorite there. And I think the other.
How about this? All right, so Montclair, you got Anzaldi.
Yep.
And this team no one talks about all year. And I see a lot of teams here. It's all matchups. I'm going to throw them out there. The winner of that Livingston-Morristown game, 4-13, going to cause some problems in this bracket. I like Morristown, Shane O'Neill.
Yeah.
And Livingston's playing really well. And it's a tremendous coach. Kyle Murphy's doing a good job with that team. They lost a lot of close games this year. Had to deal with a lot at Morristown High School. But I think that game is the key to a lot of these teams because they're going to do damage and hurt somebody. That's my biggest worry for Montclair is one of those.
Shane O'Neill pitches. If O'Neill pitches the first game, that would line him up to pitch against Montclair if they got that far.
Yeah,
he's as good as anyone up there.
Yes.
North 2, Group 4. Seems like there's 2 teams that are above all the others, and they've played each other twice, and they don't like each other, and they both have the same nickname. I just have been telling people all year that the Red Devils are winning North 2, Group 4. I've been hedging my bets all year.
Go ahead. You talk about all those good teams. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Hunter Central and Ridge. To me, the team that could mess that up, Hunter Central Ridge Part 3, would be Watchung Hills.
Okay.
You get Jake Mamoli in there pitching, Lorenzo Miola. You got a couple of, that to me seems like the biggest obstacle. But Hunter Central Phillipsburg is not your normal 16 seed. I don't see where they're going to beat them, but I think that's going to be a closer 1-16 game. Bridgewater Raritan's got some young, Bridgewater Raritan and Woodbridge both seem like they've got a lot of young guys who are good, and that's going to be tough in year 1, kind of their sophomore year. So I'm going to say Hunter Central Ridge, and I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Okay. It's going to be shocking to you.
If it's not one of those teams I mentioned, it will be.
It will be very shocking to you. So it's inside. It's a little bit inside. So Hunterdon Central, McCoy hasn't pitched in 2.5 weeks. Got to worry about that. They're pitching. I don't think they can win the section without them. Ridge, something with Ridge with Hunterdon Central. It wouldn't shock me if Hunterdon Central lost to Phillipsburg. I'm being honest with you. Phillipsburg got a lot of young kids. It would shock me, but could it happen? You never know. The biggest question mark in this section is Westfield. Are they now juniors and seniors, or are they still sophomores and juniors? Chavez, Sestero, their pitching staff is pretty good. Jay Cook's first year at the helm, 13-8-1. Cranford 2 or 3 times this year. Governor Livingston 3 times. They played a really tough out of schedule, and they only have 8 losses. So they're prepared to play the big boys. It's just, are they ready for the big game and put 4 games together? That's my weird team. Ridge better win because they are the best team. I know Hunterdon Central beat them twice. I was at one of those games on opening day. I worry about Hunterdon Central, but Kevin Kuzi always has his team ready, and you think they can't lose, but I'm not jumping on that HC bandwagon this year. Just not. I just think they need McCoy. I'm gonna say Ridge or Westfield.
Jake Chavez.
Ridge or Westfield.
Jake Chavez could be the biggest obstacle between Hunterdon Central and Ridge in the finals too, because I don't think my guess would be that Connor Byrne, 2 versus 15 playing field's not the Ridge should win that one. And they might try to.
Let me tell you something. Ridge doesn't have to throw Connor Byrne in that game.
That's what I was going to say. I would think they'd set him up for a
Bridgewater, Raritan, yes, and they know each other real well. Bridgewater's tough,
right?
Bridgewater's a tough team for Ridge.
Talented. Bridgewater's just a little on the younger side themselves, I think.
Yeah, Bridgewater's going to be a tough out for Ridge. And Ridge is already thinking, "Oh, we already beat them. We already beat them." Yeah, they're smack you around if you overlook that team. Better not overlook Bridgewater, Raritan.
To the Central, Group 4. We've got the defending state champs there, Middletown South.
So I got a question for you. Did you ever say who your Group 3 state champion was?
My Group 3 state champion. Well, that's tough. I'm gonna say Ocean City repeats. It's a little.
I've seen Ocean City. If Ocean City won the state championship, oh my God, you would be God to me. I mean, I don't see that happening.
No way, that's not. I could see an Ocean City Cranford final.
I'm gonna go with Cranford. I think Cranford's state champion. I like them. I like Cranford. They probably were the best team last year. They probably were the best team last year.
I wouldn't have said Cranford at the start of the year, but I think they've got enough pitching now behind Will Gallagher that they can do that.
They have guys that throw strikes.
Yeah.
And I saw Shane Van Dam yesterday. He's a project.
Little X factor off the mound.
91 miles an hour yesterday out of the blue. Where'd that come from?
Little X factor on the mound.
Yeah, I think they got a 2-inning pitcher there.
I would, if that's my finals pick, I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see them win. And again, that's a great group. That would be it'd be a fun time in Hamilton if that happens. Group 4 South. We said Middletown South is last year's state champ. In the Central side with them, you've got a bunch of good teams and fun matchups. You've got Jackson Memorial. You got Zach Crotchfeld. You've got the craziest week there with the Shore Finals, the Ocean Finals, and a tough. If you're going to pick a 3 versus 14 upset, who knows if Jackson? who knows what Jackson's going to have left? And West Windsor,
Oh, I'm talking 4 versus 13.
Northern Burlington.
That's the one that hit me in the face. That's going to change the bracket. Monty's got great pitching.
Yeah,
that is the bracket changer right there.
That certainly could. You've got North Brunswick and South Brunswick. Well, we already went on our rant about these these county tournaments, but that is screwing up.
You got North Brunswick, South Brunswick, Montgomery's going to beat Northern Burlington. I got it. Northern Burlington, Montgomery are even. They're even. They are even team. And North Brunswick is going to play South Brunswick. South Brunswick more physical. They're not going to have Zach pitching. South Brunswick could win. So right there, you got 13 and 12 win first round game.
And just again, shame on all these counties for screwing us out of a Joey Tucumalo and Zach Konstantinovsky matchup, because I'd put the over under on strikeouts there at about like 35 between the two of them, or 30 or something. But that game changes so much without that matchup. I like Middletown.
And Manalapan too. How about Howell Manalapan? Manalapan could easily beat Howell.
Tyler Kane at full strength is capable of beating any team in the bottom half of the bracket. You know? So I don't know. I got no clue here other than Middletown South, I think, is the best team, and I think they're going to win it.
Yep, I agree with you.
And now the big one, South Jersey Group.
And they got Ben Shield.
Yes, they got absolutely. That's a lot of good pitchers in that Group 4 Central. In the South.
Yeah, but Ben's the man.
You got Kingsway. You got Egg Harbor Township. You got Central Regional all of a sudden. You know, none of these guys in South Jersey have seen Cam Leiter pitch. You got Lenape, who has looked as good as anybody in the state for times. You got a darn good sleeper 6-seed Cherokee, which I think is every bit as good as these other teams when Jeremy Cheeseman's pitching. You got Vineland. You got the only team that beat St. Augustine all year. You got Williamstown, last year's champ. You've got Shawnee, which has looked like a top 5 team in the state for a lot of the year. I got no clue, but I think
when you look at the brackets here, and Kingsway is playing great, Lenape is the most physical. Who really got the best seed in the house? I'm looking at Egg Harbor. Egg Harbor versus Toms River North. Not that North is a pushover, but Egg Harbor's pitching's good. They win that game. Then they play Central Regional. They probably won't get Cam. I think they should be able to get by Central.
Yeah, they won't get Cam probably because of the the Ocean County final.
Yeah, and then also if Central's got to beat Clearview.
And Clearview.
So Egg Harbor.
If Cam is available,
we don't want to overlook anyone, but I like Egg Harbor's first 2 games, and then we're talking about Kingsway. Now, I don't think they can hit with Kingsway. Egg Harbor doesn't score a lot of runs. They're going to have to. Cam Flukie and Sweeney are going to have to put together a masterpiece to beat Kingsway. And that's possible. And then to be able to go up against a physical Lenape team without, if Egg Harbor could just score runs. You know, Carmichael's looking at me, he goes, we can hit. Yeah, we can hit. I know they can hit, but when you're facing really good pitch, and it's a different story. I love the Kingsway Lenape final here. Egg Harbor is an outside long shot for me with who they got the first 2 games, and could they pull up a shocker? But I'm going to go with my boys from Kingsway and Lenape in the final.
Yeah, I know Shawnee just beat Lenape. I know the game would be at Shawnee. And I know Bowen is good enough to beat anybody. Ethan Bowen, I don't know how they're going to set that up.
How about Cherokee? Cherokee and Lenape round 2?
You tell me in 3 weeks Cherokee's playing in the state finals, and I wouldn't it certainly wouldn't be the most surprising thing I've ever heard.
Well, 6 plays 11. So Cherokee's Washington Township. Hughesman's pitching. I know that for a fact. So if they can get by Washington Township, then Lenape plays Millville. Millville's not an easy out, man.
No,
I'm telling you,
no.
that's a good baseball team.
I feel like they played at the beginning of the year in the opening weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, Wayne Hill. Wayne Hill's a dude. That outfield, he's good.
So I don't.
But
I will. First prediction is there will be at least 3 lower seeds winning or getting to the semifinals, winning 2 games. Well, not 3. I'm sorry, getting that out of the first round. There's going to be 2 at least. But I like Kingsway and I like Lenape on equal footing, and I like Shawnee. So I don't know. I don't know. I think Kingsway is going to win this ultimately. I think they've got enough other pitching. It's not just Landon Edwards. Joey Finelli's done a great job. Lucas Hampel's done a great job this year. And they put up runs and they hit. And St. Augustine's not in the bracket, so they should be okay.
Williamstown, if Chris Montone's ready to throw a little bit, I've seen him throw a couple games this year.
Yep.
They could be. Remember, we had them in the top 10, and before they had a couple transfers, and Montone went down.
They could lose to Vineland, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Vineland's really coming around.
Yeah.
Group 4 state champion.
I can't keep picking teams to repeat, can I? That's like not fun, is it? Who did we say was coming out of the North in Group 4? Ridge? You like Ridge in the finals? Passaic Tech? You like Nas pitching the finals?
Nope. I don't think Passaic Tech makes it.
So you like Ridge?
That's too many good teams in a row. I'm not going Passaic Tech route.
Can Lenape win a state?
Just in case Nazir isn't throwing. So Lenape is the most physical team in the state, and they have the pitching. I like Lenape to go far. I had Lenape at the start of the Diamond to win the Diamond Classic, and they lost to St. Augustine's in the final. I have no problem saying Lenape is probably the vivid fave. The winner, it's Kingsway or Lenape. And I mean, hello. But Lenape is a 3rd seed. I do like Lenape. I like their pitching staff. I like the way they go about their business. Their coaches are awesome. I love watching them on the sideline. They're very high energetic guys. And that's what you need. You got to keep that high energy, that intensity going from game 1. Some teams blow themselves out game 1, and they figure a way to win the first game. But then all of a sudden, 2 days later, they got to play another game, and emotions, they don't have any pitching left. And the first game went 10 innings. They don't even have their 2 or 3 because.
I think I'm going to go with Middletown South again.
Okay. I went with Lenape and then Kingsway as my other team.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to go with Lenape.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, you're right. Kingsway is the one that's done it all year long. And St. Augustine isn't in the bracket.
Yeah.
So that's the one that's been like their kryptonite this year.
Out of all the teams in the state, I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
All the teams in the state, you can't take a top seed. And out of all the groups, group 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, give me the longest shot on the board that you think could win or just make it to the state title game.
Red Bank Catholic.
I don't think they're a long shot. I'm talking.
Oh, I'm talking about outside the top 20 is considered a long shot to make.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the seeds outside the 5 through like 16.
Oh, and to get to what point now? What are we saying?
It's a state final game.
to get to the state finals.
Yeah. And it's a whopper. I got a whopper here. A big time, crazy, possible upset shot.
I could see Cherokee. I could see.
Okay, that's good.
I could see North Brunswick if somehow Zach is able to pitch the first game against South Brunswick, because I could see him getting fits all along the way. I could see Somerville going through Central Jersey.
You got one.
I could see Morristown in South Jersey. There are 6.
No, I don't see that.
I could see. Well, we're talking about below 5, right?
Below 5. You get one. I'm going with Pascack Hills.
Okay.
Pascack Hills wins the Group 2 state title as the longest shot on the board at seed 7.
I'll go with Cherokee. I think Cherokee's ready.
All right, you got Cherokee. I got Pascack Hills. If one of us hits, the bank goes as $100,000.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. You've heard everything from us. Now it's time to play the games, and it's time to remember the good picks and forget the bad ones.
Yeah.
We will see you guys out at the field, I'm sure, throughout the next 3 weeks. Non-public A and B kickoff opening round games today. The public schools get going tomorrow, and we'll see everybody out the field. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.